Good morning. My name's Waldo, and I stream the news sometimes. It's very boring. You're probably not going to like it. Uh, at the moment, my usual partner in crime, Mr. Modular, has not picked up his phone. So what we'll do is I'll just play some video games until he jumps in, and if he doesn't, then I'll run through the headlines and stuff like that. Maybe look for another friend to come talk to, and then I'll talk to nobody. It's very strange. Still not quite confident enough in this hobby, because it's not a job, just to fly solo yet, you know? I don't know. Let me load up chat and see if there's anybody in there watching or paying attention. I would talk to chatters too, if I had any. Alright, here we go. Should appear right there. There it is. Alright, live and up and running. Then can pop it out over here and see it as things happen. Excellent. Everything is going smooth. I'm going to close this window since I don't need it. This window and this window. So I'm gonna see if old Modular messaged me back. I don't think he did. Nope, nothing there. So we play some video games. Maybe he'll message me in a minute, or maybe not. Not sure. So let's get Vampire Survivor going. There it is, and there it is, and chat there. All right. Haven't gotten too far into that expansion for this thing yet. I think I've got, yeah, this person. Never played him before. Let's go to the new mountain. Yeah. I don't even know what this weapon does. It looks like bubbles, though. Let's just find something down here with the bubbles on it. That's got the bubbles on it. There we go. Walling them out. Always good. I got little bubbles. Are they exploding? How do I aim them? I think I aim it over here. Yeah. All bad weapons. Sword. Okay. Water's always good. This guy's kind of slow. Axes are always good. All garbage. do have that thing going left and right, so the Song of Mana could go up and down. That would work. What in the hell is that? He's gone Super Saiyan. Oh no. Don't know why, but okay. Super Saiyan has ended. I don't know where it came from or why, but there it is. Oh, we did it again. What did I pick up that causes that? Alright, let's check the grimoire. How do I level up? Oh, I need spinach as well. Okay, spinach is easy. Spinach is a good one. So I need spinach and a heart. And the skull. Spinach, heart, skull. Okay. That's not spinach, heart, or skull. I still don't see what's causing that. That's okay. Do want that, but I think it's on the map, so I don't need to pick it up from here. So I'm going to bring it to me here just a minute. Yeah. Heart. Spinach. Those guys are getting me. But gone Super Saiyan again somehow. I want the duplicator, but there's already one on thing on the map. I'm gonna banish that one. Skull, there it is. That's what I needed. Skull. Okay. Banish that clover. Nobody needs the clover. Ever. that a boss? Yeah, it was. Which ones are ready to evolve? The bubbles are ready to evolve, but I've got everything. It's just not evolving. So is this. Well, the sword's not ready. The staff, whatever the hell that is. Got the parts. Okay. I wonder why it's not evolving the bubbles, whatever those are. What's it called? I should probably know what it's called. Oh, this is the Silver Wind. Can't click up there. I don't know. Wish I could get the next randomazo, because I want to bring all the things to me. There you are. No, no, no. Pretty sure it's called Mad Groove. No. Only 3 left. No. Mad Groove. There you are. Bam. That's the way to do it. Tome. Yeah, I like that one. That's how it's done. Oh, we want that too. What evolves the Victory Sword? How does the Victory Sword evolve? Is it not on this list? Does it not evolve? It's too good. It can't evolve. It's too powerful. Guess not. Alright. Now I just need some treasure boxes. There's one. Yay, evolution time. What is that? Go die shuffle. Evolved 4 seasons generates an additional explosion. More explosions. Alright. I like explosions. Jeez. That's a lot of explosions. Got kind of a beat to it, doesn't it? Boom, 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 boom. Treasure box. What do I need? I can open treasure boxes. I got stuff to evolve. That one does. Weakens enemies' defenses. Oh yeah, this is the green one. Turns everybody green. The book's up the tempo. Up the tempo again. I forgot I still have 3 weapons I haven't evolved. Okay. it's starting to chug now. It's slowing down. It's too much on screen. She can't handle the power. Just mowing the lawn. Roundabouts. Oh. I don't have any of those. I don't have any of those. I have one of those. Some of these. Armor. I don't roll armor. One of those. Oh, I got the slash. Don't have any of those. Explosions. I already have enough explosions. I do have a lot of magnet. But critical. Now let's do this magnet thing right here. I don't know if it's any good. Is that gonna evolve the blood sword? Yeah. Super blood sword. What does it do? Enables critical hits and combo finishers and drains health. From them or from me? Probably them, right? Something hit me. Don't know what. Or is it the sword draining my health? It very well might be. See if we got any food nearby. Ugh, nothing I can reach. There's one. Is that a boss? Yeah. There's a lot going on here. Hard to keep up with. Those don't die immediately. What is that? I don't know what that is, but it's being deleted. Oh, I'm gonna die. Somehow. Random always. Let's find some food. There's one. That is a mess of pixels. so good at this game. And done. Rebird. Yep. Pretty good. I got 2 achievements and a new person unlocked. Yeah? Interesting. Okay. So, Vampire Survivors is a masochist of a game. Not you or me are masochists because we're playing it. The game is a masochist. The game wants to be beaten harder. Beat me harder, daddy, says this game. Alright. With that, I'm going to check my messages again, see if any of my friends want to be on. Oh, he's ready. So I'm going to... Oh, see, I missed a call from him, but I'll call him back. Let's call Modular. Where's that button? Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's happening?
Too much.
Yeah, I know the
Late.
feeling. No, that's cool. I just played some video games. I'm already streaming right now. I'm live. I did some Vampire Survivor,
Yeah, I saw.
whole Vampire Survivor run, and then checked messages, saw the message, and gave you a call. And yeah, Vampire Survivor is a masochist of a game. I said it just a moment ago, but it wants to be beaten harder, and it isn't interested.
I have Vampire Survivor.
Yeah.
Um, were you playing with any mods? There were some powers I saw in there I wasn't familiar with.
Oh no, that's the expansion. There is an expansion for it. Came out a
Oh,
couple
okay.
of weeks ago.
Gotcha.
So yeah, there's a bunch of new weapons and characters. So um, I haven't gotten around to trying them out yet, but they are, as I said, the game wants you to hit it harder. So they're almost just easy to win with.
Big fan of the garlic guy.
Oh yeah. The old
Just
stinky ballsack guy. Yeah.
yeah, you just stand there and everything dies around you. It's
Mhm.
great.
Mhm. Uh, I go with the. Do you have the guy with the guns? He starts with 2 guns. And
I'm not sure if I have him or not.
okay, that's the one I like. Is that it starts out shooting in like an X-shaped diagonal, and then when you evolve it, it turns into a giant radiating sun light. And if you like the garlic guy, you'll like the giant radiating sun.
Oh yeah.
I of laser
That sounds
beams,
great.
and it just spins around. If you combo that with the book, it never turns off. So you just have like 10 flashlights beaming out at you at the same time, spinning around and just evaporating everything.
Solid.
And so yeah, that is Vampire Survivor. It is the best $3 I ever spent. I think the expansion is like $2 or something. So
Nice.
it's pretty good. So I did not prepare anything. I had a very busy week, so I didn't like prep anything. So all I have really is just the regular headlines like we usually do.
That's fine. I feel like last Saturday was 2 days ago.
Yeah, I know it
It's
was, wasn't it?
ridiculous.
It was. I
Yeah.
just hung up with you. Yeah. I don't know how that happened, but it was very quick. Let's see. I will share my screen with you. So you can see what I'm seeing. Then I bring up, then I minimize that. I bring up this, and then I can swap over to there and there. So everybody who's watching, all the millions of them, can see this. Um, Not a ton going on this week. Um, I wanted to save this one for last because I'd get your opinion on it. Uh,
Okay.
that George Santos guy has made. We just keep finding more claims about him. Um, that
Oh, it's amazing. I don't
that
know. At this point, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell if somebody just made something up
I know,
and
like,
said it about him. I wouldn't be
uh,
able to tell if it's something that he actually said he did or if it's somebody trolling.
right, or if somebody's trolling
It's
because
so
like
great.
that one time that I beat him up in third grade, like
Yeah.
you don't know
I
whether or
I
not
have
I
no
did it.
idea whether that's true or not.
Uh, this time, his mom died from 9/11.
Mm.
But 10 years after 9/11, she got lung cancer from all the dust, like the Ground Zero workers. But there's no way to know that happened. Oh, and the evidence suggests she was in Brazil when 9/11 happened. So, uh,
Well, to be clear, he is the grandson of Holocaust survivors,
right,
I believe, and
yes,
his mother was also at 9/11.
right.
That makes
So
him double victim status here. Okay,
double
like
victimized, like, but yeah, double victimized. He is the world's worst victim. But there's actually one I think that might get him kicked out of the Republican Party. None of this is going to get him kicked out, but this might. Him wearing a dress. That might
wonderful.
that might be the one that gets him booted, you know. And well, I want him to be kicked out, but it's wild. I bet this is the drag queen is the part that's going to get rid of him. I bet this is the one that's going to get him. So yeah, it's just wild. Oh, he was in. Oh, well, okay. So the fake name that he used on video in the past has a Wikipedia page, and that Wikipedia page says that he was in the Hannah Montana movie.
No shot.
And but not George Santos, but the other name that he's used in the past was in the Hannah Montana movie, and I just don't. It just keeps getting better. It's all over the place. Uh, but I mean, yeah, like you said, is it? I mean, what's real and what's not? What's trolling? What's made up? Did I in fact beat him up when he was in the third grade? I did.
Exactly.
It
I mean,
was,
this is incredible. This dude's a legend at this point.
I know, and uh, I hated it, and now I love it, and now I'm in on it. Now we all get to be a part of it. How did you interact with George Santos, Modular? What did you do with him?
Well, actually, we went to high school together,
Okay.
and he was that quiet kid that sits in the back, you know.
Collecting magic cards?
And
Like,
yeah, exactly. I gave him
okay,
candy sometimes,
okay.
just in case, you know.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Yes.
So actually, I can give him a phone call at any point and get him to enact some legislation.
So no, we just need to have him on the call. Oh, maybe next week you look him up. We invite him on the stream, and we'll just have George Santos on our stream. How does that sound?
Wonderful.
Dude, I'm doing this. I'm not even kidding. He's going to be on this stream next Saturday, 10 a.m. George Santos
Let's do it.
on the stream. It's going to happen. It's going
Perfect.
to be great. Uh, I'm gonna. I'm promising it right now.
All right.
Okay, so we can't talk about him too much because he'll be here to explain himself. Um, what else we got? Trump has to pay Hillary Clinton $1 million because of his bogus lawsuits.
Wow.
They have been. He has been. He's a very litigious guy. Donald Trump and lawyer fined nearly $1 million for bogus legal claim against Hillary Clinton. So they take her to court and they sue her for all these things, and then she has to hire legal counsel to argue those things. And some judge said, "Hey, this is so nonsensical that you have to pay her legal bills," which came to exactly $938,000. So,
Wow.
and then he dropped one that was against Letitia James because he assumes that the same thing will happen.
Wait. He sued Hillary for conspiring against Russia or conspiring with Russia.
Right. She
Incredible.
conspired to sway the outcome of his winning presidential campaign by working with Russia. So she got together with Russia to make him lose, even though he won. It's very complicated.
Nice.
He continues to lose, which is good. I like it when he loses. Um, so we've got another headline. This kind of ties back into what we talked about last week with uh, states' rights. Uh, the state of Kansas held a vote about abortions, and they chose to uphold them, to make them legal. Voted to protect the right to abortion in August referendum. Now state Republicans want to overrule the will of voters and ban it anyway. So the people that have been elected held that vote, didn't like the outcome, and are going to change the rules anyway. And they're doing it for individual cities and counties to ban abortion. So we talked about it last week, but I suggest that we have a federal rule that applies to everyone. You suggested that we should have state rules. The people who run the state of Kansas don't like what their voters voted for, and so they're going to granularize it even more and make it down to cities and counties. I wanted your opinion on that.
That's fine. Um,
That
I mean,
city by city can have different
well, yeah. Like I
rights.
said, my whole argument for the reason for not making so many things federal
Mm-hmm.
is that what works for California
Mm-hmm.
may not work for Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I can.
So giving the states the opportunity to govern themselves as much as possible is fine by me.
Mm-hmm.
at the state level, what works for one city may not work for another, or may not work for whatever, county.
Mm-hmm.
So giving them the ability to pass their own legislation is also fine by me. It doesn't look like Kansas is actually banning abortion with this bill. It's just saying, hey, if you are, what do we got on there? If you're Council Grove, then you can have a different rule than Topeka about your abortion rules, whatever.
How does
That's
that
fine.
make sense? That if you have different rules depending on mostly invisible lines, uh, county lines aren't exactly borders. You can go through a dozen county lines in a day and not even know.
Right. Well, I
So,
mean, just means that you Google where the the nearest abortion clinic is, and
and
maybe
then
you have to drive an hour.
drive
Okay.
to it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't prevent anything. It
No, it
doesn't
doesn't.
do anything. And I don't like laws that don't do anything. Uh, if I'm glad that it's getting weakened, honestly. This is a weakening of their position. The issue I have with it is that I think it is, in fact, a right. And I don't think rights should be separated by county lines that are barely even noticeable to the normal people. I literally, I do. Well, I was about to say I don't know what county I'm in right now, but I know what county I'm in. But I don't know where the lines are in my county, honestly. I know what county I am a part of, but I don't know where that line ends. I've never seen, I've driven all over the place, but I've never seen a sign that says, hey, you are now leaving this county and entering another.
Right.
I don't want my rights dependent on those lines. I don't want these people's rights depending on those lines.
I see where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't really have a dog in the fight for abortion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm generally in favor.
Mm-hmm.
I see the pro-life argument,
Mm-hmm.
and I accept it. But at the same time, uh, it's not anything. It's not something I'm very passionate about. I'll be honest with you.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. And that's why I keep coming back to the idea that Mayetta has different rules than Holton would be insane to me. I mean, if they had different, some of the rules could be different. I dig why Topeka would have different ideas than Holton, but on big
Well, what
important
if
things,
Topeka has different ideas than Kansas City? Right.
Kansas
I
City,
mean,
KCK or KCMO, um, Kansas City is and that's actually going to be a big problem too, because you know what that right there is? That's the state line. Kansas City sprawls over the two. So this is Kansas and this is Missouri.
oh, right.
Now, here is again one of the issues I think that we would have. Kansas City straddles the state line. KCK
Yeah.
over here, KCMO over here, Kansas City, Missouri. Um, there are literally like streets and buildings in between that are on one state or the other. And if those two states had different rules, you could cross the street and have different laws. I
Yes.
think that's insane. I I just think it's wild that anybody would suggest such a thing.
I don't. I
Yeah,
mean, that's where the
cross the street and
that's where the border is. Yeah.
the border is mostly invisible in this situation. Well, not
Sure.
completely invisible. Down here, it's a
All
little bit.
borders are invisible until you put a wall on them.
I know, which is why I don't respect them very much. because we invented them. Anything we invent, we can uninvent. There's our state line along the water right there. So that one's kind of easy. You can't walk across the water. But down here, this is one state and this is another. This is one state and this is another. And I don't know, it seems unfree to me. It seems anti-freedom to tell
To allow
somebody they
people
have
to govern themselves.
no allow them to disallow them to move around because of all the laws that are different. If there are different laws and you have to know what they are by passing an invisible line, you might actually run afoul of the law without even knowing it. Um, they
In what way? What do you mean? Like,
in what way? If there are, I mean, abortion laws are, you have to know you're going to do that. So it's not like you, I mean, what if there is a clinic that does X and Y in this county right here, but then in this county down here, we're not even talking about Kansas City. We're talking uh, Okaloosa. There you go. Okaloosa has a set of rules for
okay,
clinics. McLuth has a different set of rules, but the doctor's already there in McLuth doing things, and then he runs afoul of the law because they change it
because
depending
they
on where
changed
you're at.
the law, right?
Yeah, they changed the law.
I
I
mean,
guess he would know that. Yeah.
right. He would know, so he could choose to continue his practice there, and maybe McLuth makes some rules that most doctors don't agree with, and then McLuth doesn't have any doctors, and McLuth says, "Oh shit, we might need to roll some of these back." Right?
Can't I tell them that's going to happen? You just told them this that might happen. Can't we tell them ahead of time? Is the only way to learn that fire is hot by sticking your hand in the fire?
You and I both know that the government never listens to people with with foresight. Okay? Everything is reactionary.
Okay. That makes me sad. That the only way anything can happen is if we enact it and then suffer and then unenact it. All right, yeah. Prohibition. That's what happened with the alcohol prohibition, right?
That happens with
Intelligent
everything.
intelligent people said it was a dumb idea. They did it. It turned out to be a dumb idea, then they got rid of it. Okay. Well, in that vein, the Republican Congress is suggesting a flat sales tax.
Wow, it's like me in high school.
And I know that was a quick change of subject, but with their McCarthy said it's going to come up for a vote. 23%.
I mean, it's never passing.
I know.
It's a virtue signal.
You think so?
Uh,
You think it's just a virtue signal?
yeah.
I know
I
it won't.
mean,
I know it won't pass the Senate, and Biden won't sign it. But
of course,
is this a good idea? Is this uh,
there are some merits to it.
okay?
Um, in terms of it simplifies the tax code, because with that bill it eliminates like the income and payroll taxes and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
of course, that would also most likely do what I was talking about last week, which is eliminating the tax exemption for employer-sponsored healthcare.
I don't think this says anything about that.
Well, it naturally does. If you eliminate income tax, then
If
you
income tax is
necessarily can't claim an exemption, right?
and if they can't claim that exemption, employers stop giving health care to their employees
Possibly. I mean, if there's no
because
benefit to doing it, then you might as well
because
just compensate them in
because
money.
the company isn't being paid. They're not lose. Okay, They're not getting
Yeah, they're not
something
able to
back
write
from the
off
government.
that. Right.
And if the company can't write back for the government, they aren't going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you might as well just compensate your employees with money at that point, right?
Okay.
So there is that. Um, Eliminating income taxes, payroll taxes, and what is it, estate
The
and
estate.
gift taxes.
Gift,
Yeah. So basically, it's a consumption tax.
yeah, it is.
I think that 23%. I did read up a little bit on this. 23% is a bullshit number.
You
It's
think
actually 30%.
it's 30. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what over here a couple of the other places are saying, that it's actually more likely to be 30.
Right. Well, the 23% number comes from, so if you have a $100 item,
Mhm.
they're going to tax you $30 on it.
hmm
But that your total comes out to $130. So you're
Mhm.
paying $30 is tax out of the $130 final price.
hmm
So that's how they're getting 23%. But the item is $100,
hmm
and you're paying $30 tax on it. That's
Mhm.
a 30% tax.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't like the idea. I don't like the way that they add the tax into the final price and then say, oh, it's 23% of the final price. That's bullshit.
hmm Yeah, it's just a little wiggling of the math. Yeah. Um, is this conservative policy?
It could
Or,
be.
or
It's one of those ways where you sort of uh, tax people. Well, first of all, it increases the number of taxpayers.
right,
So
because most poor people don't pay income tax. I don't pay income tax. I don't make enough money.
well, this would be after the sales tax. I believe that the plan includes a rebate.
Right. Well, I
Um,
think it's a prebate. As
Now,
insane as that sounds.
you can't get the rebate if, for example, you are not a citizen of the United States.
hmm
So this is a way to uh,
Charge them taxes without making them citizens.
Charged.
Yes.
charge more taxes to more people. And that includes tourists,
hmm
and that includes illegal immigrants.
hmm
So you probably increase your tax revenue if you had the right balance going with this. And of course, with the rebates, the rebates I'm sure are means tested. So there's that. I don't know how this would work though. Honestly, I'm not sure if it's a good idea or not. I used to think back in high school that this might be a good idea, but I haven't
Right.
given it much thought since then.
Okay. I think that you are right that it would increase the number of people paying taxes, but those people are going to be poor, or it's going to pick up all the people who don't pay income taxes right now, and they're going to start paying. It's going to pick up all the people who don't pay estate tax. They're going to start paying, and gift taxes. The 3 out of these 4, I don't pay because I don't make enough money. Poor people don't pay 3 out of these 4. There's no estate tax for anything under like $5 million, if I remember correctly. So the estate tax, Republicans on Fox News often call it the death tax, and it is, and the people who are watching Fox News are terrified of the death tax, but it doesn't exist on anything under 5 million, and there are even ways around it to give stuff.
Yeah, you put your stuff all into a trust or something like that.
Yeah, or you give it to your
Well,
kids before you die. You pay a lot less taxes that way. But aging boomers who have an amount of money refuse to do that because
I will say that the actual purchase or the implementation of this would constitute a larger tax on the rich.
how do you figure?
As well, if you if you're able to avoid estate taxes and income taxes and whatnot by various methods, well, you're not going to be able to dodge that sales tax. So if you
Mhm.
want a $10 million yacht, Well, you're going to pay $13 million for
Uh-huh.
it.
Uh-huh.
So you're getting taxed $3 million.
Unless you can claim it as an investment. There are exemptions from the tax for intangible property, property or services purchased for business, export, or investment purposes. That's the one that irritates me the most. Investment purposes. That means buying and selling stocks will not be taxed. And poor people don't do that. Poor people don't buy stuff for the business they own, and they don't export things.
Well,
This is
so
all.
it
These are
depends
the
on what the
loopholes.
investment is. So I wouldn't. I would have to see what they count as an investment
Hmm.
or for business purposes, because, like I said, buying a yacht, there are some uh, business people that will purchase a yacht and then write it off as a business expense
Right.
because they take clients onto their yacht,
Right.
which I don't agree with.
I know.
So
I
they shouldn't
I
be able to do that.
I think this right here is
Um,
your big old list of loopholes. I think we got our loophole list right here.
right. Investment,
Oh, sorry.
however, taxing the stock market, like I think that the Democrats recently, not so recently, maybe within the last 5 years or so, had a transaction tax or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, it was something along the lines. It was something that Bernie proposed, I think,
Hmm.
which I thought was a terrible idea because in capital markets you do have to have a certain amount of liquidity,
Hmm.
and taxing those transactions ends up reducing your liquidity substantially,
Okay.
which is really bad for markets. So uh, there are benefits to um, having certain loopholes for investments, but it really depends on what they're counting as an investment or a business expense. In this case, I don't see the loopholes being closed properly here,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
naturally I'm against it. But if it was done properly, I could see myself supporting it.
Okay.
But the government doesn't do anything properly, as we've discussed. So
Oh, they
you
could
know.
if they'd quit hiring Republicans. They probably could. According to this website, and I'm not saying it would raise the tax burden for 90% of taxpayers. So 90% of people that are paying taxes would increase. Is that
Yeah,
not
it
a?
brings our tax base from something like 150 million taxpayers to 250 million taxpayers.
Mhm. Only the top 10% of incomes would actually see a tax cut, according to this website. I mean, that's. I think these two sentences right here are republicanism in a nutshell. Have poor people pay more and decrease the amount that rich people are paying.
Um, Cronyism in a nutshell. I don't think that most Republicans are against taxing rich people. I think that it's the ones that are in office that I mean, that are in the
Okay.
pockets of their donors.
I will
But
say
that applies to both parties.
Okay, I will say elected Republicans then. I will amend my sentence. These two little sentences right here are elected Republicans in a nutshell. Because that's what they always seem to pass. That tends to be their entire plan once they're in charge of anything.
Both parties do that. I mean,
So there's one
you
party
the
that says that wants to tax the rich more. Pay your fair share.
they say
We've
it.
all heard
They
Bernie's
never do it.
stuff. I know they don't.
They'll
But
pay
and
lip service to it, but it's bullshit. I mean,
so they aren't tax and spend Democrats?
no, they're spend Democrats.
Okay.
I mean, they get in. They don't really change the tax code very much compared to the way Republicans do things anyway. They
They let
increase
Donald
spending.
Trump's tax cuts continue. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But
They don't make changes.
but
They get
that's
in. They
mhm.
accept the tax change, the tax code, and nothing changes when you elect the Democrats as opposed to the Republicans usually. So
That's the game, though, isn't it? That's the trick that I think Republicans are actually doing. Uh, George W. Bush makes this giant tax cut. Uh, um, Donald Trump does this tax cut, and that tax cut is set to expire after they've left office, and they know this. George W. Bush's tax cut was set to expire after he could not possibly have been president any longer. And if it, so there's a couple of different options. If another Republican is in, they extend it and say, hey, great, vote Republicans, we'll keep extending this. If a Democrat is in and they extend it, the Republicans yell at them, hey, why are you extending Republican tax plans? Why do we even vote for Democrats? They just do Republican plans anyway. And if a Democrat is in and cancels it, they scream bloody murder about the Democrat that's raising taxes. This is a perfect rhetorical trap that I don't think Democrats are smart enough to get out of. Also,
well, they
half
could
of them
pass their own legislation.
I know half of them. Well, then the Republicans would scream bloody murder about the tax increasing Democrats. Why vote for Democrats? They keep increasing taxes.
It only works rhetorically. I mean, if
Rhetorically is all that it takes.
it's not, because people see what happens to their wallets, right? You pass a different tax code, people will see whether or not they have more or less money.
They will blame
And
whoever they want.
now, the Trump tax code actually increased taxes for some people that I know, and those people didn't vote for Trump the second time around.
Okay.
They were Republicans, and they were not happy about the fact that in the end they ended up paying more taxes after the alleged tax cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Same goes for Democrats. If these people see that the Republicans can use all the rhetoric that they want, it's a matter of people are going to see whether or not they have more money in their pockets after the fact, and they're going to go, well, what the fuck? I paid more money under this tax code that said it was cutting taxes than under this tax code, which was, I had more money under.
Mm-hmm. And then at that point, the Republicans just say, "Oh, they're spending like drunken sailors." The Democrats, all the spending. I see what you're saying, but I don't know. I mean, the conservative people in my life that I know don't do that. If things are bad, they blame the Democrats. If things are good, they blame the Democrats for anything that is wrong. They'll find something to be upset about. I mean, it doesn't matter who does the thing. Fox News blames the Democrats. If how does it go? If Democrats do a bad thing, fuck the Democrats. If Republicans do a bad thing, fuck the Democrats for letting the Republicans do it. If Democrats do a good thing, fuck the Democrats, it wasn't good enough. And if Republicans do a good thing, fuck the Democrats for not doing it themselves. I think those four things always end the same way.
I think it's probably because at least the lip service given by each party is counter to each other. So
yeah, and I can see that. I know that half the Democrats would be in board for lowering the taxes for the top percentage. It's only the really left-leaning ones, Bernie, AOC, all the people who call themselves progressives, that want to tax the rich.
yeah, the ones that actually genuinely want to are typically farther left than your average Democrat.
Right.
And it's you ever seen that Dave Chappelle skit? Not skit, but bit, I guess, where he talks about the 2016 debate.
Maybe, I don't know.
It's great. He basically says about how Trump and Hillary had this debate, and He's never seen somebody get up on that stage and go, "The system is rigged." And Hillary and Obama are over there on the other side of the stage going, "No, it's not." And Dave goes, "Wait a minute, it's what he said."
Okay.
And how he's, Hillary says he doesn't pay his taxes, and then Trump turns around and says, "Well,
Because I'm smart.
it's because I'm smart."
Mhm.
Yeah. If you want me to pay my taxes, then change the rules.
Hmm.
But you won't, because you and all your donors also benefit from those same loopholes.
Right, I agree. We should abandon both parties and move to the left. I appreciate you finally coming to see it. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
the Democrats aren't far enough left. I agree. Um, let's see, what else we got? We got this guy talking about tax again, but we already talked about that, and that, and that, and that. Um, this is another one of those things that comes up in the House that isn't going to get passed, but so the right is virtue signaling. Hey, we want a flat tax. The left is virtue signaling themselves to overturn Citizens United. And that was a thing I don't think I've talked to you about before. Citizens United and what we think about it.
Uh, it's one I'd have to look more into.
Okay.
Um, I think the situation is a little bit more complicated than corporations are people.
Hmm.
But the the idea behind Citizens United is about um, entities being able to spend money to advertise in political campaigns, right?
Hmm.
So you get into a weird situation there where what do we constitute an entity that can or cannot advertise, right? And at what point do we call it an infringement on speech?
Hmm.
Well, right. Distinguish between natural persons and corporations or entities, right? But
Yeah. I don't think a corporation has the First Amendment.
well, it says or other artificial entities, right?
Hmm. Oh, I don't think chatbot is also covered by the
Well,
First
an
Amendment.
artificial
You know?
entity could be anything. I mean, you
I
could
know.
have a political action committee,
Yeah.
for example,
And I don't.
right?
I think that the
Where
committee
or
itself doesn't have protections under the First Amendment. The individual who said the thing does, but
so can people pool their money together
mhm,
to buy an advertisement?
sure.
And how would they do that?
I mean, if they're a company, they would just
No,
pay
just
for it,
people,
or
like
just
a
people,
large group of people.
a political group. Could they pool
Uh-huh.
their money together? Sure. They can
Okay,
collect
what would we
some
call
money.
that?
I mean, that's a political action committee, sure.
Yeah. And so these people that are donating their money to run an advertisement,
Hmm.
the political action committee is technically an artificial entity.
Sure.
Should we be able to do that?
Yes, that's fine.
Is all right. Well,
I mean, the parties
then
are
we agree.
fine. No, well, I don't believe that political action committee that just pooled its money together can give it all to a um, a a person running for office. I don't think they can give them that money. That seems bad. I don't think that they can have 100% free reign on spending that money. I think that if you were, I mean, this is turning politics into a business.
I do think that if
Man.
you donate money to a PAC and the money doesn't get spent, it should be refunded to you.
Okay.
I don't think that PAC money should be held onto or given to candidates. No.
Okay. I think that the creation of a political action committee should be fine, and it should be regulated, and it should follow laws. There should be laws on what they can and cannot do. Um, I don't
Yes.
think a corporation should be allowed within that political action committee area. The individual people who make up the corporation can join a political action committee, but
So you don't think
I would
that
draw a
corporations should
line.
be able to take some of their profits and then donate it to a political action committee?
No. The individuals can do that from their own pocket, and I'm sure it's a corporation. They'll find a loophole where they can just pay their people to be a part of that political action committee, and then they put that much money in there. That's fine, I guess. That's going to happen. That's basic capitalism. But I don't want the corporation directly giving money to these things, to these PACs. No. Because then they're buying these politicians. I mean, how do we avoid buying politicians in a capitalist society? I don't know that there is a way to
Right.
avoid it.
I mean, there isn't a good solution, I don't think.
Hmm.
I would like to see less money in politics, and more focus on ideas, but at the same time, it's difficult to sort of get around um, our media establishment
Hmm.
and the way that we have our government set up, along with all rules surrounding what constitutes free speech,
Hmm.
um, in a way that satisfies everyone. I think
Hmm.
it's not going to be. I mean, at some point the reform has to happen if it does, but it's not going to be pretty. I don't think.
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, we talked about Mr. What's his name, George Santos earlier. I mean, if he had more money, he would put all of that nonsensical stuff on TV, and that people would believe it's real. They would think that he was in the Hannah Montana movie. I don't know that that helps him, but I mean, what if it were something actually substantive? Substantive. What if it were something important or valuable that he just made up and has the millions of dollars to fill the airwaves with, and then people believe it's true? We're in the disinformation age, and it's not going to be fun. Except for next week when George Santos is on the. I will ask him next week. In fact, when he's on this stream next week, I will ask him what he thinks about Citizens United and the artificial entities. It's going to be great.
That'd be great. Yeah, I can't wait for you to ask him if his mother was actually at 9/11, if his
I,
grandparents were Holocaust survivors.
I will ask him. These are things I will bring up to him. So if you have, please get a list of questions for him, um, and we will see how it goes. And he will answer them, and all the things he says will be true.
Was he in the Hannah Montana movie?
Were
I
you in
mean,
the
this
Hannah
is
Montana
important
movie?
political
These are
discourse here.
important questions that need answers, and we will find the answers.
Was he in the Hannah Montana movie as a woman?
Yeah, was he wearing a dress? Like, these are important things.
I didn't know Hannah Montana had a movie. I thought that was a TV show.
It was, but then like they have a movie. It's just it's a thing. It probably just
One of those things like Drake and Josh.
yeah. That's
They
it.
made a Drake and Josh movie. Yeah.
I was too old for it, so that it comes out. It happens. They show it in theaters for a week, and then it shows up on the. Is that a Nickelodeon or is that a Disney Channel thing? I don't remember. Um,
Uh,
I couldn't afford either one back then.
I think
Uh,
Drake and Josh was Nickelodeon. I want to say that Hannah Montana was Disney.
I have no idea. I never saw it. I never paid any attention to it. All I know is that it was a thing to make jokes about in the early aughts on the internet. Um, but it shows up in theaters for a week and then it goes to the channel to be watched 100 times for free. Anyway, yeah, he will answer all of our questions next week, and we will.
You're making bold promises to
Oh,
our one
absolutely.
viewer.
I know. We are. Tell your friends. Tell everybody. He will literally be on my show next week. Uh,
I hope
and
so.
I'm going to
It'll be
work
some quality
very hard
content.
to make that happen. It's going to be great. Yeah. Hell, I want to do it sooner than that, so nobody else steals the idea from me. Uh, so that's all of the super fun stuff going on in the news lately. Uh, and yeah, it was kind of a quiet politics week anyway.
Yeah, not a very active week,
Hmm.
thankfully, because man, I had too much going on.
Yeah, I had a lot going on too. I'll tell you about it later. I watched.
I have a lot going on next week too, but then things will calm down for me after that.
Okay, I watched this movie. It was pretty good.
What movie's that?
It's called The Menu. It's on
I haven't seen
HBO.
it.
It is nice. Do you have the HBO Plus or Max or whatever the damn hell it's called this week? Uh,
Yeah.
it was good. Um,
Look at that. The critics and the audience generally
hey,
agree for
everybody
once.
agrees. It was good. Um, basically, some very famous TV chef, Gordon Ramsay type guy, has a cult and goes crazy,
Nice.
and it's very nice. I enjoyed it. I expected it to go one way, and then it did not go that way one way.
What did you think of Velma?
Oh yeah, that's the big thing. I haven't watched it yet, and neither has
Oh,
anyone
okay.
else who's complaining about it. Um, where did you go, Velma? I am gonna watch it because I have the thing, the HBO thing. Um, yeah, I am gonna
Even
watch
the
it.
critics can't
Yeah,
pretend it's good.
they can't pretend it's good. I don't think it's gonna be good, but if they're trying to, so these 50% of people, you know who they are? They think it's bad on purpose. And if you're gonna
If you're
be,
gonna make it bad on purpose, you
yeah,
have to
go
go all the way with it.
all in. Yes,
Yeah, and
make
they
make
just don't go
make
far enough. Like,
yeah, they don't go far. Make Shaggy a Holocaust denier. Jump in on it. You know, make Velma a 9/11 truther. You know, jump in on it. Make Daphne a fan of uh, uh, Alex Jones. You know, throw uh, everything in. Just 100%. Shaggy was actually at Jan 6. You know, put it in. Go for it. Make it terrible. Make it bad. Make it painful. And um,
I
make
mean,
Vel.
yeah, there's a certain level of absurdity you have to go for it to make a really bad movie good.
Yeah,
Like so bad that it comes all the way full circle, like
yeah,
Sharknado,
yeah.
right?
And Sharknado, I think Sharknado was good because they weren't trying to make it bad.
Right.
I
It was
think
just
the
absurd.
I think the very first one, they were actually trying to make a good movie and failed, and that's fun to watch. But Sharknado 2 and 3 and 4, they're trying to make bad movies, and they are making bad movies, but that's not as much fun.
Right.
Um, I watched Sharknado for the first time just. Well, the thing I said the most was, that's not how that works. You know,
It's hilarious though.
that's they got every person making the movie was an alien who was not brought up on Earth and barely comprehends what's going on Earth. I think like 1 gallon of gasoline gets dumped into a full-size swimming pool, and then they throw a match in there, and it's Hiroshima. Just massive, gigantic explosion. I was like, you guys, that's 1 gallon of gas in a thousands of gallons of water. That's not how that works. Um, they, their house was waist deep in water, and then they ran out of the house, and there's no water. I was like, that's not how that works, you guys. That's not how that works. Um, the baseball bat, you've got a baseball bat, and you're going to hit a shark with it. You put your hands here, and you do this. The person with the bat had one hand at the grip, one hand on the very top, and was poking them with the bottom of the bat. I was like, that's not how baseball bats work. Do you not know how baseball bats work? They didn't know how a baseball bat worked because this was an alien. This was an inhuman alien thing. So that's not how that works. And then what was the other thing that they did? Um, they did one other thing. What was it? The shotgun was the pump was in the wrong position when they fired. Also, I think she was pointing it way out here, and then the stock isn't even on her shoulder, and then she's like, pow! And then racking it wrong and getting the kickback from a shotgun backward. And I was like, that's not how that works. Anyway, yeah, that's.
But you can't do that intentionally. That has to be something that somebody tried to make a good movie there.
Somebody
right?
tried.
The problem is that Velma feels like a show that somebody is intentionally making to piss as many people off as possible, and it's just not funny.
Yeah, and it's not funny, and they're trying to piss people off. And I'm saying, if you're gonna piss people off, piss them off. Let's do it. Let's have Fred get uh, uh, woke. Make him the most woke, scoldy person in the world. Make him part of left Twitter, who just make him yell at YouTube creators all the time for not being woke enough. Let's do it. Let's insult everybody.
Oh no, with Fred, what they did was they I've seen it. So they made Fred a guy that looks like he's clearly um, like gone through some amount of adolescence,
Mm-hmm.
but it comes out in the show by episode 2 that actually no, he hasn't gone through puberty yet, and he has a tiny penis, and that's the whole joke around him.
Great, let's
Like,
do it.
what?
I'm on board. Go for it. Let's make everybody angry. But if you're just picking on him and white people in by extension, it's not fun. Let's insult everybody. Let's.
Oh no, the only people that are that are made fun of are white people in the
I
show.
know, I know, and
So,
that's why it's bad. That's why it's not a good kind of thing. You should insult everybody.
oh, and cops get a bad rap in the show too. The two cops are like this. The only two in the show are this lesbian couple.
Okay.
And they randomly show up and shoot people in their own homes for no reason.
Well, that's just what
At
cops
random.
do.
Without, well,
See, I'm on board with that.
nonsensically.
But then,
I mean,
yeah,
you'll
make
see it. It doesn't
do
make sense the way that the joke doesn't land
Okay.
uh, in the way it's presented.
Okay.
It's a combination of trying too hard to insert political narratives and then at the same time not executing well.
Yeah, they're.
It's bad all around.
Yeah. I assume that this 50% is people who are like, oh, it's bad on purpose. Well, yeah, I know it's bad on purpose, but roll with it, jump into it, you know? Intentionally make them bad. Velma becomes a Kanye fan, you know? Like, She wasn't a Kanye fan until like 2 weeks ago, when she was like, "Hey, who's this guy? This is great. Roll with it. Go with it." Yeah, I'll watch it and we'll talk about it next week.
Sure.
But next week again, we're gonna have George Santos. It's gonna be great.
All right, perfect.
It is snowing outside my house right now, and that is unusual and not acceptable. So I don't want it to snow, so I'm gonna go and fix it.
All right, sounds
And
perfect.
yeah, I'm gonna cancel all this snow. It's done. I'm not having it.
Beautiful.
I will. A little bit of a quick stream today, but I played some video games, did some stuff, and next week, big week, gonna be great.
All right.
All right,
George Santos and
George
Velma.
Santos.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good.
Bye.